today we talk about a do while statement. Do while statement. Okay, right. So here I give example in while statement. Just see here in while statement when we were checking the condition. Okay, so we have written while statement like this in previous class. Okay, say while. Okay, so then here we have written the condition inside the parenthesis. We have written the condition. Okay, so then here we have written some statements that is called body of the loop here. Okay, so in the first instance, first time when the condition is checked here. Okay, if the condition is false in the first instance, then this entire body of the loop is not executed. Directly control comes out of the loop here. Okay, so that means first time if the condition is 0, condition is false, then this loop is executed 0 times. This while loop is executed 0 times. Okay, but we want a situation where we want to execute a loop at least one time without uh, checking the condition or irrespective of the condition, whatever may be the condition, at least one time I want to execute this loop. Okay, so in such case we use this do while statement. Understood? Okay, so how it differs from while we'll see here. Okay, so the general form of a do while statement, or do while a loop you can call. Do while loop is. Okay, so if you see the general form of do while statement, it begins with the keyword do. Okay, so then followed by beginning of the loop. Okay, so do. Okay, then here inside the braces you write body of the loop. Okay, so body of the loop contains one, two or more statements. Then close this loop here. Then after closing brace we write the condition here while. Okay, so then test condition, then end this with a semicolon, this is the general form of do while statement. Okay, so observe carefully here the general form of do while statement here. Okay, so do this. We are informing the compiler to do this. What? Execute body of the loop. Okay, then at the end check the condition. Okay, so condition is tested at the end. Okay, so if the condition is true, again do this. That is what we are informing here. Okay, here just see here, this is the general form of a do while statement. Okay, so let me highlight this. In examination also you try to highlight these general form or syntax. Wherever you write the syntax, better you highlight here. Okay, so how it executes, I'll tell you how it executes. I will tell you here. Okay, so see, so first when the control enters this do statement. Okay, so first it comes to do statement. Okay, so then it comes here do this. That is what we are informing. Do what? Do this. That means execute body of the loop. Okay, so that means irrespective of the code, now one time the body of the loop is executed here. Okay, so after executing the body of the loop first, then it comes to this while test the condition. Okay, now the condition is tested here. If the condition is true, okay, so then again the control goes back and it informs do this. Okay, so then again the body of the loop is executed second time. Okay, so then it reaches end of the loop. This is end of the loop, closing brace. Okay, then again test the condition. Okay, if it is true, again it goes back and repeatedly executes this body of the loop once again. Okay, then while test the condition, true. Again go back and execute body of the loop. Okay, so like this, it executes body of the loop repeatedly as long as the condition is true. If the condition is false, for example, if the condition is false, assume that the condition is false. Okay, so immediately the control comes here. That means it comes out, the control comes out from the loop. This here, this is the beginning of the loop and this is end of the loop. Okay, so then this is the next statement here. Okay, so then it goes to the next statement immediately. It goes to the next statement when the condition becomes false. As long as the condition is true, it repeatedly executes here. Okay, now here in while and do while, if you see the difference here, in while what we are doing, we are testing the condition first, then entering the loop. Just see the right side here. Okay, first we are testing the condition first. Okay, if it is true, then only we are entering into the body of the loop. Okay, so that means whether to enter body of the loop or not, we are deciding at the entrance. Okay, so that's why this is called as a entry controlled loop. While is called as a entry controlled loop. It is called as entry controlled loop. That means at the entrance you are deciding whether to enter the loop or not. But here in do while loop, if you see, first we are saying do this. Okay, that means you are entering the loop first, then you are testing the condition. At the end, before you exit from the loop, you are testing the condition and then you are deciding whether you want to execute body of the loop once again or not. Okay, so during the exit of the loop, you are testing the condition. So that's why this do while statement, do while is called as a exit controlled loop. It is called as a exit controlled loop. Exit controlled loop. Okay, it is entry controlled loop and it is exit controlled loop. Okay, so this is the first difference. Then in while statement, if condition is false for the first time, okay, so then the loop is executed 0 times. Loop is executed 0 times. That means loop is not at all executed in the first instance. But here the body of the loop is executed once, then test the condition. If it is false, then control comes out. Control comes here. So what is happening here? It is body of the loop is executed at least one time, irrespective of the condition. The body of the loop is executed at least one time. At least one time the body of the loop is executed. Okay, so these are some differences between while and do while statement. Clear? Okay, so if you see the example for this do while, now if I consider an example for this do while, okay, say int some k is equals to 1, I am assuming. Okay, so then I say do. After do, you have to begin the loop with open brace. Okay, so then do what? Just I want to print do this, what that is what we are informing. Okay, so then say like I, what is k value? Okay, so k value I am printing k percentage d, then say slash n comma k. Okay, so then k plus plus, I am saying k plus plus, then close the body of the loop here. Okay, so then test the condition. After body of the loop, write the condition. While statement you will write here. Okay, so while, okay, condition is while k less than or equals to, or you can write while k less than 5. Okay, then end with a semicolon. Here please remember, do while statement ends with a semicolon. After while there is a semicolon, but in while statement there is no semicolon after while. Please remember. Okay, right? So this is simple example code for do while statement. Okay, so how it executes, just see here. What happens, how it executes, same like while statement it executes. The only thing is at least one time the loop body of the loop will be executed. Okay, so when k is equal to 1, initially for k memory is allocated like this. Okay, so 1 will be stored inside this. Then do this, that means execute this. That is what we are printf k is equal to. So on the output screen you can see k is equal to, what is current value of k? 1 it prints. Okay, so then k plus plus, k value now becomes 2. Okay, so then end of the loop reaches, then test the condition. Condition will be tested here. K less than or less than 5. What is k value? Current value 2. 2 less than 5. Yes, true. So when this is true, again it goes back. If this is true, okay, so the control again goes back and tells do this. Okay, comes here, then enters the loop. Printf k is equal to, what is current value of k? 2. So k is equal to 2 will be printed. Then k plus plus k value becomes now 3. Okay, so end of the loop reaches, test the condition. 3 less than 5, yes, true. So again goes back. Okay, so execute the printf statement. So printf k is equal to, so on the screen you can see k is equal to, current value is 3. 3 it prints, k plus plus k will become now 4. K value will become now 4. Okay, so test the condition again. 4 less than 5, yes. So again goes back and prints here, k is equal to 4 it prints. Okay, k plus plus k value now will become 5. Now test the condition, 5 less than 5, false. Okay, so then the loop is terminated and control comes to the next statement. So here we have not written any statement. That means then the loop terminates here. Clear? Okay, so this is how this do while statement is executed. Okay, so when we use this do while statement, when we want the body of the loop to be executed at least one time. Okay, so when we write different programs, we get some situations where the body of the loop has to be executed at least once. At least once. Okay, so in such case, we go for a do while statement or do while loop. Okay, right? So let us write a sample program demonstrating this do while statement here. Okay, so I write a program. Demonstrating do while statement. Okay, so do is a keyword and while is also a keyword. Okay, so always you should write them in lowercase letters. Do while statement. Okay, so then include the header file. Include the header file. Then begin the main. Okay, so here what I do is I just declare a variable n. Okay, and directly I initialize a n value to 1 here. N is equals to 1 I am initializing. Okay, so then I directly use a statement. While ki colon అక్కర్లేదు, నేను అదే చెప్తున్నా, యు ఆర్ నాట్ కాన్సన్ట్రేటింగ్. ఓకే, ఆఫ్టర్ వైల్ తర్వాత సెమీకోలన్ ఉండదు. ఇక్కడ డూ వైల్లో వైల్ తర్వాత సెమీకోలన్ వచ్చేస్తుంది. ఇక్కడ జాగ్రత్తగా చూడండి. ఓకే, సో డూ వైల్లో ఇక్కడ వైల్ తర్వాత సెమీకోలన్ వచ్చేస్తుంది. See here, this one. Okay, so test condition, close parenthesis, then semicolon. ఓకే, సో డూ వైల్లో సెమీకోలన్ వస్తుంది, బట్ వైల్ స్టేట్మెంట్లో సెమీకోలన్ అనేది రాదు. ఓకే, రైట్. నౌ I have declared a variable n is equal to 1. Okay, so you can take n value or you can call it as I also, you can take, right? So just what I do is I just print a message, say printf. Okay, so I value I am trying to print I is equals to %d, then say new line, comma I value I am printing here I, then close. Okay, so then so here we have to include this in a do statement. Okay, so do, then say open parenthesis, then inside the loop we want to print a I value here. Okay, so then in printf you write I is equals to comma I. Okay, so then increment I value, you must increment a I variable. Okay, so then close the loop here, then write the condition while I less than something like 5 or something. Okay, so close, that's it. Okay, so then finally say return 0, then close the main program here. Now this is a simple program demonstrating a do while statement here. Okay, as I said, so I value will be initialized to 1, then do what? Do this. Okay, so that means execute body of the loop. We are informing the compiler. So then it executes printf I is equal to 1. It prints. Okay, so I is equal to 1. It prints. So on the screen you will get I is equals to 1. Okay, so then I plus plus. See here, this I is the variable which controls execution of this loop. Okay, so that's why I is called here. I is called a loop control variable. This is called as a loop control variable. This is controlling the loop here. Okay, so loop control variable. And this loop control variable must be incremented. See here, I value must change during the execution of the loop. Otherwise, you ran into infinite loop. There is a problem of running your loop into infinite loop. Okay, so that's why this loop control variable must be incremented or decremented, so that after some finite number of iterations, the loop should terminate. Loop should terminate here. Okay, so I value it prints, then I becomes a 2. Okay, so if you see memory diagram for I here, so initially I value is 1. ఎనీ వేరియబుల్ నేమ్ ఏదైనా తీసుకోవచ్చు. నేను అందుకే మీకు ఇక్కడ నేను ఫస్ట్ n ఈజ్ ఈక్వల్ టు అనుకున్నా. n కాకుండా I తీసుకో, k తీసుకో, a తీసుకో, b తీసుకో, x. వేరియబుల్ నేమ్ చూసింగ్ వేరియబుల్ నేమ్ ఈజ్ ఇట్ ఈస్ అవర్ ఓన్. Okay, so based on our thinking process, we choose variable names. It is our own decision, please remember. Okay, right? So but whatever variable name you choose here, the same variable should be used as a loop control variable here. Please remember. Okay, so here you have taken I, and if you use n here, there is no n, then immediately you will get error. That's what. Okay, right. So I value 1, printf I is equal to. So on the screen you will see I is equal to 1 printed, I plus plus. Okay, so then I value becomes a 2. Then test the condition, 2 less than 5. Yes, again goes back. Okay, so again control comes back and executes the loop, body of the loop, printf I is equal to. So this time you will see I is equal to 2 printed, I plus plus. I value becomes a 3 here. So 3 less than 5. Yes, again goes back and executes printf. So I is equal to 3. It prints current value. See, whenever you are printing I, current value, you should not look into the program what value you have assigned to I. Okay, so inside the memory, what is the current value, that you should observe. Okay, right. So then I plus plus, I value now will become 4. I value will now become 4. Okay, so 4 less than 5. Yes, again goes back and executes. So on the screen you will see I is equal to 4 printed. Then I plus plus, I value now will become 5. So 5 less than 5, false. Okay, so then comes out, then control comes to, that means the loop is terminated here. Then it comes to next statement, return 0, then your program ends. So on the output you can see output screen I is equal to 1, I is equal to, I is equal to 3, I is equal to 4 printed on the screen. Okay, clear, right? So this is do while statement. Right, so if you are comfortable, then we'll go with the next statement, next iterative statement, then that is called as a for statement. For statement. Okay, so for statement is another form of a loop statement, which is very convenient way of writing a loop here. Okay, now if you observe while and do while statement, see here. So in while and do while, what we do is we initialize the variable, loop control variable. This is called the loop control variable. We initialize the loop control variable, or we declare the loop control variable at one place. Okay, then we use this loop control variable and we increment this loop control variable at another place, and we use that loop control variable for testing the condition. That means test condition we write at another place. Okay, so that means the same variable we are using at 3 different places. If you miss any one of this, then your entire program logic will be wrong, will become wrong. Okay, so you should keep track of this loop control variable very carefully in this while and do while statements. Okay, so another form, very handy form of using a loop statement is for statement. Okay, so the general form of for statement, if you look into general form of for statement or for loop is, okay, so it begins with the keyword for in lowercase. Okay, then it will have three sections. The first section is called initialization section. Okay, and this ends with a semicolon. Then the second section is called as a test condition, okay, or condition section. Okay, so all the three we write at one place in for loop. That is the uh, convenience of a for loop or advantage of for loop. Okay, so then here we increment or decrement the variable in the third section and close the for loop here. Okay, so then whatever logic you want to execute, okay, so then all the statements you write inside the body of the loop. Body of the loop contains actual statements, then close this for loop. Okay, so this is how the for loop can be written. The general form can be understood here. Okay, so if we look into the general form of this for statement, now just see here, this is the for statement general form. I'll tell you how this for loop is executed. Okay, so just see here. Now for contains three sections. Okay, so the first section is called as a initialization section. This first section is called a initialization section. Okay, so in initialization section, what we do, we initialize the variable like we did, no, k is equal to 1, I is equal to 1. Okay, so such kind of a initialization statement will be written here, like I is equal to 1, I is equal to 0, or k is equal to 1, or k is equal to 0. The variable, loop control variable will be initialized in the first section. Okay, so that means all the three we are combining in one statement. We are writing at one place in the for loop. That is the advantage. Initialization of the variable, condition testing of the variable, and increment decrement of the variable, loop control variable. All three we are writing at one place. Okay, please remember, after initialization it should end with a semicolon, then it goes to the second section, that is condition. Okay, so we'll check the condition whether the variable value is less than some value or not, some condition. Okay, we'll test. If the condition is true, then immediately it enters the body of the loop. Okay, please remember, if the condition is true, it enters body of the loop from second section. Okay, after testing the condition, if it is true, then body of the loop is executed. Okay, so once end of the loop is reached, from here, then control goes to this increment section. Then the loop control variable value will be incremented or decremented. Okay, so in test condition, what we write? We write condition like this, say I less than 5 or not. Okay, so then in increment section we write I plus plus kind of things. Okay, so all the three we are writing at one place. Initialization of the variable, condition testing condition, and increment or decrement of the variable. Okay, so like this it executes. Now how repeatedly it executes, that is the question or point to be understood here. Okay, now what happens, just see, understand clearly. Once again I'm explaining here. First initialization of the variable is done, like I is equal to 1 or k is equal to 0. Okay, so then the variable will be tested against some value. Okay, like I less than 5 or k less than 3. Such condition will be tested. If the condition is true, then enters the body of the loop and body of the loop is executed. Okay, so then end of the loop is reached. Once end of the loop is reached, control automatically goes to increment section of the variable. That means the variable value will be incremented, like I plus plus or k plus plus, k minus minus. You can either increment or decrement the variable here. Okay, so after incrementing, decrementing, again control comes to condition part here. Okay, see the path of execution of for loop. Okay, so test the condition. If it is true, again enters the body of the loop and executes the statements in the body of the loop. Then end of the loop reaches, again goes to increment section. Variable will be incremented. Again test the condition, true, execute body of the loop. End of the loop reached, again increment the variable. test the condition, true, execute body of the loop. Okay, go back to increment section, increment the variable, test the condition, true, body of the loop is executed, increment the variable, test the condition, false. Okay, so when this condition becomes false, then control comes to the statement after the for loop. Okay, so that means the body of the loop is executed as long as the condition is true. Okay, so here what is happening, if you observe, initialization is done only once, then these two sections are repeatedly executing here, incrementing the variable, testing the condition, body of the loop is executed, increment and test, increment test will be done continuously. Okay, only when the loop is entered first time, this initialization of the variable is executed. Okay, afterwards only these two sections are repeatedly executed. Okay, so if we take an example for this for loop, how it can be used in a program. Okay, now see here. Take example for loop, say int, okay, so something like x is equals to, I take another variable here, x is equals to 0 I take. Okay, so or here initialization will be done, so that's why we just declare the variable here, no need of assigning the initial value here. Okay, because variable initialization you can do in the loop. Okay, so now you can say x is equals to 0, end with a semicolon. Now test the condition, x less than or equals to 2. Okay, so then increment the variable x plus plus like this. Okay, so if this is true, what we need to execute, we want to just print the x value here. So then printf. Okay, so then you say x is equals to %d, then say new line comma x. Okay, so then close the loop here. Okay, so this is a simple example for loop. All the three statements, initialization, condition testing and incrementing the variable, will be written at one place in for loop. Okay, so how it executes, now try to understand here. Okay, so first this int x will be declared. So when int x is declared, immediately for x memory will be allocated here. Okay, so initially garbage value will present, then it comes to this first statement for x is equal to 0, first initialization will be done, so x value will be initialized to 0, then 0 less than or equal to 2, yes, true. Okay, so when this is true, then enters the body of the loop. So printf x is equals to, so on the screen you can see x is equal to 0 printed on the screen. Okay, so then see here, inside the body of the loop there is no increment section. Then after end of the loop is reached, automatically the control goes to this increment section. Then x value will be incremented, x plus plus. Now x value will become 1. X value will become 1. Okay, so then from here then goes to condition part again. Now condition will be tested again. 1 less than or equal to 2, yes, then enter the body of the loop. So printf on the screen, x is equals to, current value is 1, 1 will be printed. Okay, end of the loop reached. So again goes back to increment part, x plus plus, x value will be incremented, x value will become now 2. So 2 less than or equal to 2, again condition will be tested here. 2 less than or equal to 2, yes, true. So then enter the body of the loop, that means execute body of the loop once again. So printf x is equals to, you can see x is equal to 2 printed on the screen. Then end of the loop reached, again goes back to increment section, x plus plus. Now this time x value will become 3. Now again test the condition. Okay, 3 less than or equal to 2, false. Okay, so then the loop will be terminated. Then control goes to the statement following the first statement. So here we have not provided any statement. So just we'll show that the control leaves the first statement or exits or terminates from the for loop, we can say. Okay, so this is how it repeatedly executes the body of the loop as long as the condition is true. Okay, so here the convenient way of writing loop is all the three we write at one place: initialization of the variable, test condition and incrementing of the variable. Okay, right, so we take one example problem using a for statement. Okay, we can write one program. Okay, so what I am doing is I am trying to write a program to find sum of first n natural numbers. Program to find sum of first n natural numbers. Sum of first n natural numbers. Okay, so include the header file. Include the header file. Okay, so then begin the main here. Okay, so now what variables we require, we need to first mathematically solve this problem. Okay, so sum of first n natural numbers. How we find sum of first n natural numbers? So for example, n value if you enter as 3. Okay, so if n is equal to 3, if you enter, then it should calculate 1 plus 2 plus 3 and it should provide the result as a 6. Sum of first n natural numbers is equal to 6. Okay, so n value is equal to, for example, 4 if you enter, then it should add first 4 natural numbers, 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4. Okay, so then it should give the result as a 10. Okay, so n value if you enter 5, then it should add 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5 and finally it should provide the output as a 15. Okay, so n value if you provide 10, then 1 to 10 it should add, n is equal to 50, 1 to 50, n is equal to 100, 1 to 100. First n natural numbers it should add and it should print the sum of first n natural numbers. Okay, so that means here the natural numbers begins with 1 here. Okay, so if you know the first number, you can generate the second number, you can generate the third number, you can generate the fourth number. Like this you can generate the next number by adding the 1 to the previous number. Okay, so only thing is you need the first number 1 you should store in some variable. Okay, so for that you declare a variable here. So I am storing the first number. Say I am storing I is equals to 1. Okay, so then how many numbers? N natural numbers. So the user has to give this n value. So that's why I declare a variable n here. Then I have to store the sum of n natural numbers. That sum I have to store in some variable. So that's why I declare a variable name called as sum. And immediately I said whenever you declare variable sum, initialize it to 0. Initialize it to 0. Okay, so if any other variables we require, we add afterwards. Okay, so first ask the user to enter yes. ఓకే, ప్రైమ్ నెంబర్స్ అన్నప్పుడు ఎలా అనేది చూద్దాం మనం. ఫస్ట్ ప్రైమ్ నెంబరా కాదా టెస్ట్ చేయాలనేది ప్రోగ్రామ్ ఉంటుంది దానికి. ఆ ప్రోగ్రామ్ నేర్చుకుంటే దెన్ you can add prime numbers. Okay, so before adding you should test whether the number is prime or not. So how to test whether the number is prime or not, that program will take if time permits. Okay, so first see the logic of this, how a program for adding first n natural numbers can be written using for loop. Just understand this. Okay, so slowly one by one we discuss many programs, all these programs involving logic, how to develop such a logic. I'll tell you. Okay, if possible I'll take class in the evening also. Okay, but I want to discuss many programs. Once loops completes, okay, now you can write any kind of program in C. Okay, you can develop any kind of program if you understand loops clearly, right? So first see here, so first n value we have to enter through keyboard. So just give me a message, enter n value, enter n value. Okay, so give some message to the user. Okay, so then he enters through keyboard. So read from the keyboard using a scanf function. So %d comma address of n. So n value may be 3, n value may be 5, n value may be 10. Okay, so that we are catching in the variable n here. Okay, so then I told how to add starting from first onwards until that number. Until that number you go on add the numbers. Ante kada logic ఏంటిది ఇక్కడ, starting from first natural numbers begins with 1 కదా. So 1 to that number, n value ఎంత ఇస్తే ఆ number వరకు you go on add and store in some variable sum. Okay, so then you will get, so that means continuously you have to generate the next number, add it to the sum, generate the next number, add it to the sum. Okay, so that means there is repeated action to be performed. When there is repeated action to be performed, we have to use a loop there. Okay, so it is your choice whether you use for loop or you use while loop, do while loop, it is up to you. Okay, whichever you feel convenient, you can use such statements. Okay, so I am using here for statement. Now see here, whatever I stated in English, now I am converting that into programming statements here, starting from 1. So that means I is equals to 1. Okay, so until I value becomes equal to n value. So okay, how that statement can be converted into program statement? I less than or equals to n until I value becomes equal to n. Okay, so then third part is go on incrementing, because we want to generate the next number I 1, then I should become 2, I should become 3, until I becomes equal to n we have to generate the next number. So increment the I variable here. Okay, right? So then begin the loop here. Now see here. Okay, so let me explain the logic here. So what happened? We have 3 variables. I here, I value initially 1. Okay, so we have a variable called as a n here. Okay, so then we have another variable called as a sum here, and sum is initialized to 0 here. Okay, so enter n value. For example, n value I entered as a 3. Okay, so then 3 will be stored in a n. Okay, now see the loop here. Okay, so I is equal to 1. Okay, I is initialized to 1. I think here not required to initialize this I value. Okay, so this just you declare I value here. Okay, so declare I value here, and when it comes to this loop here, I is equal to 1. So 1 will be stored in a I. So 1 less than or equal to 3? Yes. 1 less than or equal to 3? Yes. That means now we have the first natural number. Okay, so first natural number is now with us. Immediately you add this to sum. You add this to sum, and so store the result in a sum. Okay, so how to write that in programming? Okay, so that you should learn. Now what I have to do? I have to add the sum to, I have to add the sum value to, or I value to sum. Okay, so how I can write a program statement here? Sum plus I can write. Okay, then the result I have to store in a sum again. So then the statement becomes sum is equal to sum plus I. Sum is equals to sum plus I it becomes. Okay, now see here. So the first natural number is available with me. Immediately add it to sum. Add it to sum. How I can write? Sum plus I can write. So where I want to store the result? Again back in sum. So then the statement will become sum is equal to sum plus I. That means first right hand side will be evaluated first. Okay, so right hand side, what is the value? Sum, initial value of sum is 0. 0 plus what is I value? 1. Okay, so first 0 plus 1 will be calculated. Okay, so then the result becomes 1, and that will be stored back in sum. Okay, so then this 1 is 0 is gone. Now sum contains 1 now. Okay, right? So then close the loop here. Close the loop here. Okay, so end of the loop reaches here, then control automatically goes back to increment section. Okay, so then I plus plus I will become now 2. That means I am generating the next natural number. Next natural number. So I plus plus I becomes 2. So 2 less than or equal to 3? Yes. 2 less than or equal to 3? Is my I value equal to n value or not? I am checking here. Okay, 2 less than or equal to 3? Yes. Okay, so that means now I got the second natural number. So immediately add it to some value. Immediately add it to some value. So this is the statement which performs that action here. Sum plus I. What is current value of sum? 1. So 1 plus what is current value of I? 2. So 1 plus 2 is 3. That 3 will be stored back in a sum. So now sum contains 3. Okay, end of the loop reaches here. I plus plus, now I value becomes equal to 3. I value becomes equal to 3. 3 less than or equal to 3? Yes, true. So then again, now I got the next natural number. So add it to sum. Add it to sum. Sum plus I. So what is current value of sum? 3 plus current value of I is 3. So 3 plus 3 is 6. Then this 6 will be stored in a sum. Okay, so then go back to increment section. I plus plus, now I value becomes 4. 4 less than or equal to 3, false. What is n value? 3. 4 less than or equal to 3, no, false. Okay, so when the condition is false, it comes to this statement after the loop. So what we want to do after coming out from the loop, you decide, and accordingly you write the code for that one. Okay, so inside the loop, what I am doing, I am calculating sum of first n natural numbers. N is equal to 3 I have given, so then 1 plus 2 plus 3 I calculated and say stored the result in a variable called as a sum. Okay, so that means I got the sum value in a variable called as sum. So once I come out from the loop, now if I print on the screen, then only I'll know. Otherwise, I cannot see that value present in the memory. Okay, so immediately after coming from the loop, you print here. Okay, so sum of first n natural numbers. N value I want to print here. That means if I say n is equal to 3, then the message should be printed in this form. Sum of first 3 natural numbers is equal to n value 5. Sum of first 5 natural numbers is equal to. In that way I want to print. Okay, so n value I have to print here. So then I have to use percentage d here. Sum of first percentage d natural numbers is equals to, then here I have to print the number again. So percentage d, where from sum. Okay, so then comma, then you have to provide the variables in the same order. First percentage d, where from it has to print, it has to print from n, and second percentage d, where from it has to print, it has to print from the variable sum. So you have to provide the two variables in the same order, otherwise you will get wrong output. Even though your program is calculating and storing the values internally correct, but if you don't print correctly, okay, so then you will think that your program is wrong. No, your program is correct. Okay, but you are printing the output wrongly on the screen. Okay, so that is the difference you should understand, right? Close the main here. That's it. So once it comes out from the loop, okay, so what it will do, it goes to this printf statement. Okay, so then it executes this printf statement. Then on the output screen you can see this sum of first 3 natural numbers. Sum of first 3 natural numbers is equals to 6, it prints. Okay, so the second percentage d gets the value from sum and prints here. Okay, so 6 it prints. If you give n is equal to 5, then sum of first 5 natural numbers is equal to 15, it prints like that. Clear? Okay, so this is how we use this for statement or for loop, you can call in the program. So if you are interested to learn more programs, and evening we will have another session so that we can write programs. Number of programs now you can write. There are so many programs need to be discussed. Then you will come to know how mathematical statements or how statements understood in English can be converted into programming statements. Okay, any doubts? Execution, you want for loop execution, huh? Okay, right, now see here what happens. And okay, memory diagrams, for every program I am drawing these memory diagrams. Okay, so through memory diagrams you can understand a program execution logic. Otherwise, if you just do it in air, okay, so you won't understand how the variable values are changing. Okay, so I always program run cheyamantra. Okay, so just let me copy then this program. Yeah, give me 1 minute time. Let me switch on this code blocks. Yeah, code blocks here. right? So remaining code also I'll paste here. Close the for loop here. Okay, then print here, then say return 0. Somewhere in the lobby, who is that? 6674. End with semicolon, then close the main here. Okay, so I'm saving this program. Sum of natural numbers. Okay, so natural numbers, I say numbers dot c. I'm storing in that way. Okay, now you can see here the program is saved here. Now let me run the program first, build the program. So I'm building the program. That means compiling the program. And every time you make changes, you must save the program. You must compile the program. Please remember this. Okay, right? So then you execute the program, run the program. So enter n value. Okay, so n value, if I enter 10, now sum of first 10 natural numbers is equal to 55. Now you can calculate in short n into n plus 1 by 2. Okay, so then it gives 55. And when you run second time, now you can enter any number here. Okay, so enter n value. Okay, so 100 if you enter, then sum of first 100 natural numbers 50 50. Okay, so if you execute this program, the logic you won't understand. It asks you to enter n value and it prints sum of first n natural numbers. But how it is displaying when you execute the code on paper, then you'll come to know the logic. What is happening, how it is calculating this. Okay, right. So this is a simple for loop here, and my way of writing program is, now see here, this is body of the for loop, open brace and closing brace here. When there is only one statement to be executed in the body of the loop, no need of writing these open and closing brace. Okay, because this is your first program using this for loop. Okay, I have included this, but from next time onwards, if there is only one statement to be executed in the loop, no need to write a this, because automatically compiler understands that if you don't write these open brace and closing brace, okay, compiler automatically understands that if this for loop condition is true, now this is the statement to be executed. The next statement is taken as statement of for loop. Okay, so compiler takes it granted. Please remember. Okay, right? So I'll share the screen. Shall we have class in the evening, or some more programs I want to discuss, so that 159 students. Okay, so let me download attendance.